okay. There's more seats right here. Come back, come down here. There's chairs in between. There's, there's stools back there. Make yourself at home. Grab some coffee. Get some delicious food and pastries and fruit. This is 1 million cups. Just by show of hands, who's here today for the first time? Awesome. That's really exciting. Thank you guys for coming. Today is a really jam-packed day, and I'm really excited because we have, first of all, some amazing stories and presenters to share with you, and it's going to be a little bit different than what the traditional startup model that you guys are familiar with, the technology-driven or the different service-driven. So you're going to see something that I think is really going to get your juices flowing and thinking about business in slightly different ways. And that's really cool. The second thing that I'm really stoked about is the fact that today with us we have Nate Olson, who is right there. And Nate flew here from Kansas City. And let me tell you why Nate is really important and cool to this. This, where you are today, this concept of 1 million cups, would not have existed if it wasn't for him. He's the co-founder of this event. So, somewhere in the room are the other organizers. Natalie, right there, raising her hand, and way back there is Shay. So, and somewhere in Kansas City, freezing, hi Nancy, is our other co-organizer. We're live streaming this right now for YouTube, guys. So just for you to know, so this is right now live on the web, and this will also be archived, so you can go back afterwards and watch and listen and iterate. I'm going to ask you a couple things. The presentation is going to be for about 6 minutes, and then we're going to go to 20 minutes of Q&A. B, there's a lot of coffee. We're making more, so help yourselves. There's food given to us by Michelle. Thank you. For foodie catering, thank you very much. Coffee is from Lineage Roasters downstairs. And if afterwards, when we're running out of coffee, you still want some, just go downstairs, tell them you came from 1 million cups. You'll get a little discount on your purchase downstairs, which is also great. Hang out, get some food, get some pastries, just stay there. And Rudy is live streaming us right now and volunteering his services and his talent. So thank you very much. And of course, we have East End Market, who's hosting here and hosting us here every week. So thank you to John, wherever you are. And Josh, you ready? Welcome, Josh.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing? My name is Joshua Carrasco, and I'm the creator of Grind Time Now. Just by a show of hands, how many people know what a rap battle is? All right. Now, for those of you who do not know what a rap battle is, you have rappers who compete against each other. They're normally in a ring or in a circle of people, and that is a rap battle. And basically, in 2008, my friend and I created Grind Time Now, and we put videos online on YouTube. We have over 100 million views today, 100,000 subscribers. And basically, I was able to take this popular format into the United Nations to be accepted into the Music is a Natural Resource program. You want to hit play? So this is exactly what Grind Time is. We're at every major festival. We're in every major media source, magazine, website, for this program. And basically, it's really simple. You have people that battle each other. You don't have to break it down to a science. Grind Time Now built a platform for local artists to build a following. We have, you okay? These are all the different places that we are: New York, Australia, South Africa. We're in every major city in the United States. And we're just having fun. We're battling each other, right? But what this actually does is we go into different neighborhoods. We provide this platform for these artists to want to become YouTube famous. That's the new, media. No one wants to be on MTV or the major networks. They all want to be famous on YouTube. So this works well with anybody from 18 to 33. And we have lawyers that battle in our league. We have composers that battle in our league from the New York Composers League, and everybody from high schoolers and up. So this is Iron Solomon, whose father worked on The Wizard of Oz, he's a famous composer. This guy, his name is Heartless, his father's a famous actor. His last name is McBride.
Jack McBride?
Right, exactly, that's his son right there. So we have a lot of people that enter our league everywhere we go and we throw these battles, but what we actually do is we say, okay, some of these guys were former gang members, some of these guys are struggling. We go into the neighborhood where, you're not going to have record labels, you're not going to have major media outlets covering these guys, and we give them this platform. It's free for them to come on and try out, and they build up their stature, and now this guy here, DNA, he actually makes $6,000 per battle. For a 9-minute performance, he makes $6,000. The highest paid battle rapper actually gets paid $40,000 for a 15-minute performance. That's along the lines of what a famous rapper like a Rick Ross or a Kanye West would get paid in the span of 15 minutes. And they're doing full-out 30, 60 city tours performing for an hour long. So this format now is very popular. We are the first ever battle league. We are the largest battle league, and we started it at UCF, just playing around in Lake Claire. And what we do now is we try to incorporate different and innovative methods of delivering this content, okay? So when we brought it to the United Nations, what we want to say is like, this is something that is easily stereotyped because of its aggressive nature, just like in MMA. If you don't understand it, it's very easy to look over, but this is something that's actually helping people out, right? So what I do now is I work for Layer. Layer is an augmented reality program overseas, and we're bringing that over to the United States, but we're trying to use major media outlets and popular platforms like Prime Time Now to be able to push our message further. On top, it's just entertainment, it's rap. It's easy to look over, but in the bottom underlying message with the Grind Time Now is that we're able to go pretty much anywhere in the world, any situation, any condition, and offer music as a natural resource because it can heal any troubled youth, anybody who's having problems. Like if you've heard of Guitars in the Classroom, right? We go into elementary schools and we teach children in song so that they're able to easily learn. We learned our ABCs in song. We learned some of our major lessons as we're kids in song. So we move it to the battle format, and now we're able to bring it to everybody worldwide. We started in 2008. We're trying to expand, and that's pretty much it. This is Grind Time Now. Any questions?
Did you say how you make money? How did you monetize it?
We monetize it using just Google AdSense. They really allow us to grow on all of our channels. We were a part of the Maker Network. Rudy back there, who's actually streaming, I'm actually teaming up with him to provide a network for all of the other battle leagues. Since ours, there's probably 30 to 40 leagues per state. In the Philippines, they actually battle in stadiums. So what we're trying to do is bring them under our network and provide them the same type of platform when it comes to monetization that we were offered by YouTube. Most of the time, I go around touring, I judge for other leagues. So that's how we use Grind Time Now, and that's how we're able to
So
monetize.
you're making money by offering advertising?
Yes.
Or what states is that the only?
Yeah, we have sponsors. The events that we throw, let's say, for example, Rock the Bells. We help with the Rock the Bells show that brings out 15, 20,000 people in attendance. So we deal with large festivals, but we also deal with online through YouTube.
Where do you see the next evolution going as far as YouTube is now? Where is it, are you going to start an actual channel and take it to?
Yeah, that's exactly where it's going because of all, the popularity of internet TV. 2 years ago, internet TV was 3% of the market, and it's looking like 30 to 40% of the market now. YouTube is basically taking over all the major networks. They're now trying to snatch off all of the YouTube celebrities. Like, for example, MTV just got Eminem and his group to do a reality show based off of battle rap. I've been talking with HBO, even Cartoon Network. They all want a piece of this battle rap because it's a grassroots movement. It has so many fans. So YouTube is pretty much, you know, where we're going to stay at, and we're going to develop shows that we can then sell off to different networks.
I know you mentioned something about education in the classroom, like guitars. Is there something that you would want to offer to like an educational program as like?
Yes, well, the way that we brought it to the United Nations was we said that if you wanted this program, when the Music is a Natural Resource program started, those that were accepted into it for that entire year, you were able to find different programs in this book that they put out in all the embassies across the world. So with this program, let's say, that's how we started in South Africa, actually, in Johannesburg. They looked it up, they said, hey, this looks cool and unique, so let's try this program. We go out, you follow the rules, you set it up, and you pretty much have the entire area wanting to just be on YouTube because, you know, MTV doesn't go there, you know, BET doesn't go there, or all the other media outlets, they don't go there to cover the local talent. So that's why it was helping them out. And it actually helps them become better performers, writers. It helps with their mind being sharper versus them, you know, dealing drugs or getting into anything else. It's another program for them to focus on.
So, I mean, you're calling it a league. I mean, you know, the only rap battle I'm familiar with, it's like audience, you know, audience picks the winner. I mean, is there official rules? I heard you mentioned you were a judge.
Mm-hmm.
Is it getting like more official now? Is there like a bracket and people?
Yes, there are tournaments, there are rules, there are judges. However, now it's actually turning into more of a show where there are no judges. Most of the time, people will pay a YouTube celebrity to be there to kind of judge, but it doesn't count like a win or loss unless it's a tournament. Most of the time, I would say 5 years ago, you'd have to compete for that prize. There would be brackets, you'd have to compete for a prize. Now the way it is, these guys have so many views under the belt, you pay them no matter what. You pay them just for showing up. So that's kind of how the market is turning as far as this entertainment is concerned. They're getting paid. Sometimes they'll go and they'll mess up, but they still get their money. You know, so it's kind of like, well, it sucks for me because I'm the one that owns the league, so I have to pay these guys no matter what. But yeah, there's official rules, especially when we do the larger festivals. Some of them have belts, some of them have rings, crowns, you name it.
Have you thought, I know this might seem a little bit abstract, but with positive nature, where you are doing a curriculum development as a side to
Yeah,
this
that-
business, because with the rapid changing of academics,
Mhm.
I think this would be a good market.
We do have it as an after-school program in Indiana. This was 2 years ago, and it closed down because we just didn't the kids that went on. But same thing. As long as they were censoring themselves, they were able to develop that program where after school, instead of going to basketball practice or football practice, they would go to battle practice.
Just piggybacking off of your question, how would you consider what you're describing here different from like a spoken word competition?
Actually, it's really not that much different than spoken word. It's turning into more of a spoken word type of format where you used to have these guys compete with each other over beats. Now, and it used to be freestyle, just improv. Now these guys, they get their opponents 2 months in advance. They study them, they write for them, they practice their time limits, and it's entirely a cappella.
So that would be like your curriculum, you know, like each clubs, there's spoken word clubs.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Do you have like a plan for your future, specific revenue that's gonna come from your business? Like, for example, like partnering with a brand or YouTube views, they're gonna pay you for that. What's your like the future plan for revenue? Something specific?
plan for revenue is to be able to take this and evolve it into what the major networks are doing now, okay? What the major networks are doing now, BET did this. They took one of my competitors, they were called the URL, the Ultimate Rap League, right? They gave them a deal to be on TV, but what they did is made them sign over their digital platform rights. So they weren't able to put it anywhere else, and then they canceled the season, and then plucked out the people that were popular and stuck them in a reality show.
You want some production?
Right, exactly. That's what we're turning into more now as a production company, where we're shelling out these. We have 8 different reality shows, and we partner up with sites like Hip Hop DX, allhiphop.com. They're the largest hip hop websites in the world. To be able to give them their own reality show, and we take the numbers that they're receiving plus our numbers, bring in sponsors, and we're able to sell our product behind it.
And the views on YouTube, are you getting revenue for that?
Yes.
On viewing?
Yes. YouTube views, a lot of people think the YouTube views are, let's say, you almost get, I would have to say, we have 100,000 subscribers. That's about as much as we brought in when we started monetizing in 2010. It took us 2 years to monetize. But back in 2008, you were only able to upload videos for 10 minutes. You weren't able to do a lot of things on YouTube that you're able to do now. Now you can have live streaming events. You can charge for it. There's pay-per-view events that are going on. So those are all different ways to be able to monetize.
Since you've been doing this, have you ever thought about starting a record label? And have you, is your rapper gone on and actually?
We thought about starting a record label. It's funny, there's a rapper his name is Murs. He's a pretty famous rapper, and I teamed up with him. We were gonna create a label. He got super busy, he created a label by himself, and now he's got like a bunch of people that are known in touring. But there's a rapper in Australia, his name is 360. He got to start with us in Grind Time, and now he's the 2nd highest selling hip hop artist in Australia. And he got it off of this format. You know, these guys, we let them come in, they do their thing, and then they go out. The great thing about the battle community is that you're not signed by contract to one particular league or company. That kind of forces people to not want to be a part of what you're doing. But there's 360, there's a guy named Dumbfounded who is extremely popular in the Asian market. This guy now, he started battle rapping and now he's getting paid, probably on the underground market, he gets paid about $5,000 per show. He'll do a 30-city tour, in 1 month. So the guy is really making some good money just off of his music, and he used to be a battle rapper.
What do you think is your greatest accomplishment thus far?
The greatest accomplishment was being able to provide a platform for these guys. I grew up wanting to rap, wanting to battle, traveling all over the United States, trying to enter the big tournaments and trying to network with other people. And now we're actually able to bring it to YouTube. Like we were on Comcast Cable. There's a battle on demand that I'm on there. And I just wanted to do it for everybody else. The attention that you get, the business that you're able to do because of the attention that you get, because people look at you as an artist, and you're able to now break down a stereotype and get into audiences like this. Like you guys are, I would normally see you at a rap battle. So like, that is my greatest accomplishment, is being able to get in front of audiences like this and say, hey, this is something that you no longer have to look at and you say, oh, I have knowledge of what this is now. It's basically a platform for other artists to get on. It's not hard to be on this, it's really, really easy.
How many people work with you?
There's about, I'd probably say a good 40 people all over the United States. Here locally, there are 3 people that work with me.
I can preface this by saying, Josh and I, do you ever see legitimate, as a fan of Grind Time, URL, and myself, do you ever see the people you bring up, say Daylight, becoming as big as radio rappers? Do you ever see Daylight doing making cupcakes with Martha Stewart? You think that's legitimate? Do you see Dumbfounded or anyone from Battle League YouTube celebrity
battle rapper.
I mean in terms of grind time specifically.
Right, exactly. Daylight, for example. Daylight was a gang member who lived in LA, right, in California. This guy put a tattoo on his face like Spawn. He does a lot of crazy gimmicks whenever, but he travels all over the world doing this. He finally got picked up by MTV to do that battle rap reality show, and he just got signed under Slaughterhouse, which is Eminem's group. So like, yes, it happened.
I guess
It's happening under Eminem right now.
I'm sure you probably covered it, but I was just a few seconds late. But I'm interested to find out your opinion on the fact that Eminem has this production deal with MTV. Is that going to be positive for the growth of grind time, or do you think it's going to begin to kind of commercialize the culture?
It's going to be very positive because when we're talking to these HBO and Showtime executives, I have to tell them exactly what battle rap is, what hip hop is, and the culture, and where it started, and give them this whole background as to what it is that we're doing and why it's so popular. Now I can just say, hey, look, Eminem's doing it, and he's copying our format exactly to the T, and we're the originators of this format. So it's going to make it very easy for us to be able to grow.
What's your strategy for staying on top of the world largest?
Staying on top, that's the hardest part because it grows so fast, right? What you want to do is work with as many people as possible. In the battle rap community, it's kind of backwards, okay? It's a competition to them, but what they don't understand is that with the YouTube community, it's not a competition. The more people that you work with, the more views that you're turning over, the more sponsors you turn over. So that's my strategy for staying on top, is the more people that we're able to build with and bring under our network, and it's already happening now. There is no other league or company that is starting up networks. It's all about me, and that's the only thing that they're doing. Their goal is to just try to get on TV. That's why my biggest competitor signed, their rights away to BET and got canceled. That's something that we're not doing because we created the format. We can forecast where it's going, so that kind of puts us a little bit ahead.
You mentioned sponsors. What types of sponsors are you looking for, or sponsors voluntarily sponsors?
Any sponsors will work. When you have companies like, let's say, 3 weeks ago, there was a major battle that took place by this league called the UW. They were sponsored by McDonald's, okay? As long as this is a popular platform, you're going to pull sponsors, not just the normal ones that you would consider like alcohol, or like we tend to stay away from the alcohol and cigarette companies and things like that. But we get sponsorships from Red Bull. Red Bull is all about different unique ideas. They really push the envelope with that. Monster's making aggressive push for the hip hop market. So you'll see them with a heavy presence in big hip hop festivals and communities. We're more or less pulling sponsors from those individuals, but we're also looking for sponsors on a local level because of the format is so popular. We're able to bring in a lot of views and a lot of people in the local area.
Having grown out of the University of Central Florida, have you seen the university markets as a good kind of place for you to start grind times at the local level and get students involved?
Well, it started at UCF. It started at Lake Claire. Being that it was the second largest student body, that's the perfect place. The demographic is perfect for UCF.
Have you seen universities that are picking up, like University of Florida, for doing grind time?
Yes, we've done that before. We've done a college tour.
You ever see yourself kind of going into like a voice type format where you actually maybe bringing on artists, kind of judging them and then kind of grooming them even more? Because I think that could even be something to consider. Kind of like this training module where you're training about the business side of things and all those other parts that sometimes, because I was about a rapper and I didn't know anything about business.
Right.
But, maybe even molding us to kind of understand, okay, cool, this is how you make money and this is how you do
Right.
this.
We do that now with the battle rappers that we have. Every time we throw an event, for example, this Saturday we have an event at 4 o'clock. All the battlers, everyone that's competing shows up at 3 o'clock, and we'll have an hour session where we basically teach everybody, they're already battle rappers, you don't have to teach a rapper how to rap. You know, you teach them the customer service end on this because it's their brand just as much as it is ours, you know, and they have to sell themselves and the company and have people be proud of that. So we sit there for about an hour before every show, and the local guys, well, I'm local, you know, the other battle rappers that are local as well, they come over all the time. So we go back and forth with the different ways that we're trying to push Grind Time, and we're starting actually in San Antonio, Texas on February 22nd. I'll be going out there and doing the same exact thing. So it's something that we already do. There isn't a set program, you know, like step 1, step 2, or booklets or anything like that. But yes, we're trying to work into doing it.
We are unfortunately coming close to the end, so he's going to be here, stay after the second pitch and continue to network. But Josh, I'm going to put you on the spot. Can you put a little? I mean,
Here's the thing. Okay.
5,000 per performance.
I also freestyle. I tour. I'm one of the top freestylers in the United States. But the thing is that I love to do it. I love to perform. This isn't the place to do it.
I wanted to ask. By the way, I heard him freestyle, and it was unbelievable because he was able to weave a story. He asked everyone in the room to take stuff out of their pockets, and people were waving whatever in front of them, and he was able to tell a story with things that people were having in their hand and rhyming and rapping about it. It was sick. My brain doesn't work that way. I just have to say, I'm mad props to I want to ask you this from our end. What can we as a community do to help Grind Time move forward?
I would definitely say that networking is the key. I'm coming back here. My first time was last week. I'll be coming back, and even with Rudy back there who's streaming, I just met him last week, and already I'm trying to work with him to build this network that I was just speaking of. So if you have any kind of startup that you're working on, but on the side you might have something to do with marketing, you might have something to do with the technology, like we're using augmented reality. If you know anything about that, that's one of my strong points. You know, anything that we can do to incorporate the local community's business, that would be great. That's going to help us grow.
There is more coffee back there. There's more food. I'm going to tell you, this is the largest crowd we've ever had at a one-man Keep it up. Keep it up. Oh, wait. One more thing.
I'm sorry. I totally forgot this. This Saturday, from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m., we're having our event. That's downtown Orlando. If anybody wants to attend, I have free tickets, so you can come attend it and see this in person to see what it's all about. So definitely you are welcome to come out to this Grind Time.
for next time. Do you have a chair? Okay. Excuse me.
Studio 18. Now, before I get into what Studio 18 is, I think it's important that you know the history, where it came from, which is why I need to introduce myself. My name is Connor Smith. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Montclair, New Jersey, right outside of Manhattan, and I'm the owner and co-founder of Studio 18. So how did this whole thing start? Well, believe it or not, I was 11 years old, and I got handed a Tupac record from my best friend.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't have been listening to Tupac at 11 years old. Exactly. But it changed my life. It opened my mind to a lot of music. It opened my mind to guys like Johnny Cash, Led Zeppelin, Rage Against the Machine. I mean, the list goes on. Basically, I became a music advocate. And I decided that from right then, I wanted to be involved in the music industry however I could. At 15 years old, I came out of the closet to my parents. I said, Mom and Dad, I have a studio in the closet. Literally, I have a studio in the closet. My girlfriend got nervous with that story. I was talking about it. So I was running a studio in the closet for over a year, and I've been recording these guys in the basement. My parents were wondering what 30-year-old gangsters were probably doing in my basement, but it made sense. And then they said, Connor, this is awesome. I'm like, really? You think this is cool? They were my biggest supporters the whole time. So they said, let's do this. Let's go to Full Sail. I got introduced to this school. I said, I'm going to come down to Orlando and learn how to be the best engineer in the world. That's my goal. I think I'm on pace for that right now. So I wanted to come to Full Sail, learn the chops, and take what I learned back to New York. Create the best studio in the world. But here I am, 4 years later, standing in front of you. I'm not in New York. I'm in Orlando because I fell in love with this city. I fell in love with the music culture. I fell in love with the scene, and I said it's going to be my mission to make sure the rest of the world knows that Mickey Mouse is not the only thing that's making noise right now.
Yeah!
So me and my buddy said, all right, let's do this. But we're college kids and we're kind of broke, so how are we going to figure this out? Well, all right, let's go find a place and just start knocking walls down and build a studio. So we're walking down the street across from Rollins College, and we see this house. And he's like, dude, that is disgusting. And he's kind of right, but to me it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. It was Hitsville, USA, it was Motown, it was Detroit. I'm like, I want to be Berry Gordy. Let's do it right in here. Let's start this scene right in this building. So we did. We got the place, we're cutting saws, we're building. I'm a handy guy, so contact me if you need any of that. And I'm just cutting away, and we built this amazing studio in about probably 4 or 5 months. And this is what it looked like. All our own acoustic design. This was the first one. Right out of our mind, there's a lot of math and physics that went into this too, so it's really neat how we combine the two. And I made a lot of sacrifices for this. I used every square inch of that studio for the studio. In fact, I lived in a closet for 2 years just to be able to get a bigger vocal booth. To get a bigger drum platform, our office was in the attic. And I'll never forget when I'm sitting in that attic, my buddy Kirby comes up to me and he goes, Connor, we built a castle here, man. He goes, and you're the king. And I'm sitting in this thing like it's a throne. And that just didn't sound right to me. I'll never forget when I'm sitting there and I'm like, no, man, I'm not the king. You know, this is about the culture. This is the community is the king. Kirby, community is king. Community is king. And I remember saying that and just looking at the words like they were in the air. Not just because it had a good ring to it, because of what that meant to me. And I said, this is my mission right now. Community is king. That is bigger than this, that is bigger than me, that is bigger than the studio. This is going to be Orlando's studio. So we start building it up. Got a bunch of momentum. The thing started snowballing, and before you know it, we got enough funds to go and take it to another spot. So where are we going to go? Well, I looked at over 100 places. Easily over 100 places in Orlando. It had to be in Orlando. It's about this city. And we said, we're going to go corporate. We're going to do like a building thing. We're going to make this feel more professional. And as we were thinking about that, I looked at one of my interns, which, by the way, I have now over 30 interns and a staff of over 30 people. And I looked at him and I said, you know what, have you ever worked in $1 million studio? They said, no, but I've been in them. I said, it's amazing, isn't it? The feeling you get when you're in there. But you know the problem? After you've been in there for 10 hours, you say one thing. You say, man, I want to go home. It's about that. It's getting late. Time to go home. And I wanted to create a place where you never had to say, I want to go home. So we took the home recording element, and I made sure that we put this in a house, where legally we could still operate the business, you know, through zoning and permitting, which was a lot of hoops. And we found this place, 4,000 square feet, 3 state-of-the-art recording rooms, and it is amazing. It's so beautiful. In fact, the paint on the walls wasn't just put on there by rollers. See, that's the cool thing. It was put on there by paintbrushes, meticulously, by the best artists in this entire city. Because it's not just a recording space anymore. This is a place where we meet for art. We've only been open for 2 weeks. At our grand opening, we had over 300 people. We had 13 bands volunteer their time. This is a place where poets are meeting. We're getting ready to sponsor some poet teams in the city. Some of the best artists are doing their murals here. Red Bull is getting ready to sponsor an entire art garden in the backyard. This goes on and on. This is a place of creativity. And that's been my dream the whole time, and it's bigger. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than just recording. There's some amazing things ahead. I'm a entertainment business master as well, or better yet, I have my master's degree in entertainment business. And I'd be happy to answer any questions on that, monetizing how I did logistics. But if I only had 6 minutes, I wanted to at least just tell you the story of how this whole thing came to be. So thank you for your time. Fire away.
First of all, I applaud you. That was wonderful. I love your passion and your commitment in but how do we make money?
Great question. Great question. Okay, so there's two sides of it. You see, I have 3 studios because what I want to do is I want to use about half the studios. My business model allows me to utilize half the studios for walk-in clients to just pay us our hourly rate, where I can utilize the other studio for practicing the stuff that we want to do with our own record label that we're developing, the bands that we want to record in the community. Now, to build on that, here's the issue right now. Bands that want to record in acts in today's day and age, or maybe artists for the longest period of time, don't have money. And that's why studios are shutting down left and right. The business platform is completely different with studios than it was in the mid-90s. In the mid-90s in Orlando has a lot of history in recording. Over $1 billion in record sales were generated out of albums recorded just here in Orlando. And those are all ghost towns because the record labels don't have the relationship with those studios anymore, so they're trying to find walk-in people. What we're doing right now is we're going to artists and we're saying, you want to record? And they're like, yes, but I can't afford it. And we said, have you heard of crowdfunding? And I'm sure some of you guys in this room know about that Kickstarter, Indiegogo. And what a lot of studios are doing is they're telling people to go and look for crowdfunding to fund their recordings. What we're doing differently is we're actually putting those crowdfunding campaigns together for them to raise the money. So.
And then do they just pay you a fee, or you get a piece of the act?
When we do the crowdfunding approach, actually that's just taken off of the whole recording. I'm not trying to profit anything on that. I just want to have them be able to fund the project, etc. Yes.
You gonna be able to hold all of us next week?
We had 300 people at the grand opening, so I think we can make it work.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the structure and how that allows us to raise?
That's coming from my manager. He's probably like, when am I going to get paid, right? Well, there's a lot of different avenues that we're trying to explore with this venue. We're doing a lot of private parties as well, so that's really neat. In 4 months, we're on pace to having a Studio 18 hosted live event at a different venue every single night in the week in Orlando. So you're going to see us. We're selling tickets. We're monetizing off of that. Our recording. Occasionally, we do have a record label call us and say, "Hey, man, we really want you to mix this whole record." I've been in the industry for, I know I'm only 23, but almost a decade professionally. So I have people contacting us for some big records that helps fund the dry spells. But we're doing pretty well. We've broken even.
What advice would you have given yourself if you could go back like 5 years?
Oh, if I could go back 5 years. It's funny you say 5 years, because exactly 5 years ago, when I was a senior in high school, my teacher said, what are you going to do in 5 years? And I said, I'm going to be owning a recording studio. And they thought I was crazy. So I guess 5 years ago, I would go back and give myself some advice. I would say, get ready for Orlando. It's a way cooler city than you think. Prepare for the storm.
Who are some of the hotter names? Who should we listen to? Who should we look out for?
Yeah, we're recording. Oh, okay, cool. All right, so this city has such eclectic music and diverse. I work with a lot. I've recorded everything from bluegrass to metal to hip hop in between. I'll just throw some bands out there if you want. I'm working with a couple local rappers that are really interesting. One, his name is Nico Is. Another one.
Nico.
You know who that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. There's a guy named Carrasco. He just signed almost $1 million record deal with Young Money, Cash Money, which is really big. There's a band in town called Shack Nasty. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. You know who that is? Shack Nasty is the funkiest band. I mean, they've been in the city for probably 15 years. They work with the Blue Man Group. The Groove Horn is really cool. I mean, we have a whole list. In fact, on our website, if you guys check it out, we just highlight all the bands in the city and where they're playing out. What I love about this city is you can go out and spend $3 and have the most amazing live music experience in your face almost any night of the week. And a lot of people don't know about those spots. So.
Do you want to stay consistently local, or would you like to reach out to international acts to bring them in?
Right. So from a business perspective, I've thought about that. I don't want to franchise per se. But I want to take this model to other cities. What I want to stay consistent with is the fact that every studio, 18, that's in the city, is about that city. Well, we record anyone. Anyone can come in the door. But if you look at the art that that's in the studio. It highlights the music that's in the studio, the architecture that's in the city, the vibe, the culture. So as long as you stay true to the city that the business is in. Oh wait, this gentleman was first.
Where do you see a studio in like 1 year, 2 years?
1 year and 2 years from now? Well, according to my spreadsheets or my vision? Right? Okay, so in 2 years I'll probably be rich. And we'll probably have at least 2 more locations in the city. In all honesty. And I probably won't be rich.
What kind of art do you love?
What kind of art? Okay. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the local art scene. You know the Mills district. If you ever driven down Mills, there's one artist that you see. His name is Andrew Spear. He does a lot of pieces. They're in black and white. They're figures this big. They're all across the entire city. He did a huge piece in the studio of Sam Rivers, which is really powerful to me. He's, in my opinion, the most influential jazz musician to come through the city. And he's like looking down on the studio. So we did that. There's an artist whose name is Boy Kong. He did an entire Sistine Chapel on the ceiling in the lobby. He's 19 years old. He's selling out shows in New York right now. The whole B-side art crew is a big movement within the art city. Definitely look them up, B-side artists. We highlight a lot of their art. It's essentially a gallery, and I think there's a cool scene in the city where artists tend to put their paintings up for consignment all throughout town, like more so than anything I've even seen in New York. A lot of the local restaurants and stuff will have art, and you'll see the same art circulating from place to place. And I want our place to be a venue that is kind of included in that circuit. So you'll see some. If you're there next week, it's kind of like a museum in there. It's pretty neat. Yes, sir.
So I really like that you talked about helping people with their Kickstarter campaigns.
Yeah.
So is there any way to make that a part of your business to kind of help fund your expansion, to do that across the country, help other bands in their local territory?
Absolutely. The way I'm leveraging that concept is I'm working with a lot of film crews right now, which is really important in building the brand. So essentially the way that I'm bartering with them is I'm letting them take the fee of that Kickstarter campaign. And in exchange, I'm getting a lot of great video services right now. So that's kind of how I'm utilizing that. Yeah.
Do you see guys, do you all see yourself doing like educational events there?
Absolutely, absolutely. A couple people have talked about it. A local producer by the name of Da Vinci. If you guys are familiar with, you know who that is? That's right, Soliloquist Sound. If you're familiar, you ever seen a drum machine, right? Drum machine, like the drum pads. This guy Da Vinci, a local guy, is like the best in the world at operating one of those things. He's like the spokesman for all those companies. He wants to do some classes there. We want to do. I've talked with Ills about possibly getting some type of JC with Joshua. Right. We've actually partnered on a lot of things. We're talking about doing educational stuff. I have a background in entertainment business. I'd love to tell people about how to copyright their music, do seminars. We're doing free recording seminars too, to bring in full soap kids and talk about here's the proper way of recording a drum set versus the wrong way. So, not that there is because it's art. Yes.
You have a unique business model. It's not like a lot of other studios, and thereby I imagine your contingency planning and what keeps you up at night is probably a little bit different. You want to talk a little bit about what unique problems you face and what you specifically plan for in terms of contingency?
Okay. Unique problems we've got. I feel like I'm dealing with problems every day at the studio right now in this phase. I think really like brand awareness. I think when clients come in the studio, the experience that they're getting, a lot of them tend to think that it's just a typical studio experience. And the type of people we're trying to attract are people that are really supporting this culture and this community. So essentially sometimes there's artists walking in, right? You have people of all walks of life, which we always accept, but seeing that there may be this type of guy, a 30-year-old hard rock metal guy raging out in the studio, and then I'm bringing, a 5-year-old girl getting ready to become the next, Miley Cyrus. Hopefully not. But it's seeing that we have 3 studios is being able to let those 2 people live in harmony, and that's what I'm all about. I'm about creating an environment where you can have those type of people meet together. I'm just still learning how to interact with have the clients be able to interact. Yes.
So speaking of harmony, how do you see the arts community and the business community working together in harmony?
Right. Okay. Well, we're all local. Community is king is our motto. You know, I would really like to all of our events sponsor local businesses. You know, that's the number one thing. Since community is first, obviously it's a business and I'm looking to monetize. But if you would like to sponsor an event, just please get in touch with us. I can work on a lot of cool things. I can hang stuff in the studio. You know, like at our events, we always have, you know, Four Rivers catered the event, and Orlando Brewery was, you know, provided the kegs, which was really neat. You know, we're looking to have Orlando Brewery on tap at the studio. You know, it's an Orlando experience. So if you have something that really like embodies this city, I really want to work with you. If you don't, I might want to work with you still. Anything else? Yes.
Have you approached, I mean, it seems to me you have a social component to your business,
Yeah.
right? And that has some stake from the community. So that being said, I mean, I would think that there would be local government incentives. Have you, you know, to support the arts or whatever that is?
Yeah.
Have you tapped into that? Because that might be, as you think about
I'm starting to flirt with that a little bit. I know in some cities like Dallas, the city is actually pumping money back into like struggling artists. And I'm trying to be an advocate of Orlando doing that here, and I think they're making some good movements. Like for instance, they're commissioning some of the artists around town to do stuff, you know, murals throughout the city. I'm trying to get them to open their eyes a little bit to, you know, the acoustic side of what's going on. So I am pushing for it. I don't really know quite the proper avenues, but I have looked into that a little bit. Yeah. Yes.
How many artists have you recorded so far in the Orlando studio? And how many people, traffic people are doing into the studio back in and out?
I mean, the studio business is crazy because you may go a whole week and just not even sleep. And then you may go a whole other week and just be like starving to get an artist in there. Even that's the case with some of the biggest studios in here right now. The way that they make their money is they wait for a big producer from LA to come in and hopefully book it out for a month. You can go into a multi-million-dollar studio down the street and all 3 rooms can be empty. So it depends on the weather, I guess. It depends on how much money they spend on Christmas, you know what I mean? There's all types of factors. But to answer your first question, probably somewhere around 200 artists. In your, well, I ran the old spot for 2 years, and we just moved to this new one. So yeah, but collectively between the 2 locations, yeah, probably somewhere around 200 artists.
So, any other questions?
I think what you're doing is awesome. Like, it seems like such an immersive experience, you know? I just think, like, it's really catering to people who are already making music. And I think educational immersion experience is something that, you know, I know people go to Guitar Center all the time just to hit the drums, you know, or play the guitar, or get on a mixer or something. So it just seems like it's a really cool thing to do.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I do have one. You mentioned earlier you wanted a place that feels like home. Maybe explain what that means to you or the people that listen to you. What does, you know, besides the recording?
I mean, sometimes as a business owner, you go to put a couch over here and you're just like, does that look professional? And you always think about that, but sometimes you'll be like, well, is it actually comfortable? You know what I mean? Like, could a guy sleep on that if he had to? You know, and that's been kind of my perspective with every little thing in the studio, finding the balance between the 2, but really trying to just like, let me lay down on this for a second. All right, I can stay here overnight if I had to. And that's a natural human thing, you know. So I'm just trying to appeal to that. There's always good ways to appeal to these things.
Oh, sure. Well, mine's just a question. I just wanted to commend you because I had the opportunity of coming through the other day at the party, and I mean, it was an amazing experience. I mean, the space is eclectic, but it's also functional, which made it easy for everyone to just fit in there. It was just super cool, and everything was free and complimentary. I mean,
that was a really cool part.
I mean, it was cool.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming back. Yeah.
Have you thought about kind of turning that? Because when you said that, I thought like, I don't know, I thought bed and breakfast, but just that concept, because I know artists having to spend those hours upon hours and have you started to kind of do like maybe a room service?
I'll touch on that for 1 second. That's a great point. That is one of the big reasons why I got this location. I have 4 rooms that I'm developing right now. we're getting some interest from, national interest. People are calling us, and one thing that they're asking is, is there a local hotel that we can stay at? I have one of my interns will pick you up in like a little chauffeur hat at the airport, and drive back essentially. And yeah, we have like 3 rooms where there's a little mint on the pillow and everything. So it's very important.
One last question.
Do you offer instructional classes? Because it seems to me you might be able to fill a gap, give instructions to prospective students that can't afford something like Full Sail.
Yeah, I really want to start doing that. I have a lot of experience with that. I actually I raised in high school $30,000 to build a recording studio for my high school, which they're still running, and they built a whole curriculum off of it. I'm very close with that teacher, and I had a lot to do with that curriculum. So I'm going to try to implement that here. I would love to do like an after-school program, Pro Tools 101. I would love to dive into that. My hand's so full right now with education.
We're going to wrap this, and obviously Connor is here, so stay and continue to talk to him. But same thing, you're building something for the community, and the community's embraced it. I think that's what you also really got a kick out of when you came here the first time you saw that. It is by entrepreneurs, for entrepreneurs, by the community, for the community. So what can we as a community do to help you to continue to grow and to move forward?
Well, first off, when I came here for the first time, I saw how awesome an experience this was, and the people that were in the room, I didn't know who was in the room. I just knew that the best thing I could do was just shake as many hands as possible. And since then, so many great things have happened just from the 1 million cups. So just come and talk to me and tell me about your business. I love finding solutions. I could probably bridge a gap and be like, oh, let's find a way to incorporate this with the studio, or maybe we can do this on your website, or I have a team of guys that can help you with that. So I have a big network in the city, and I'm sure you guys do too. So let's just stay in touch.
Please don't leave yet. And first of all, again, the thing with all of you being here today just sets the bar for the next event. So we've counted, taken names, we have pictures, so we know how to find you. And we really hope you'll be here again for the future. In closing remarks, what I'd like to do is give the floor to Nate Olson. Some of you came a little bit later, so let me tell you who Nate is. Nate is the reason you guys are here today. This is his brainchild. The 1 Million Cups event is his brainchild. And the same way that this would not have happened without him, future events could not continue without you guys. So we need your help in a variety of ways. Tell entrepreneurs. You saw all kinds of stories, all kinds of backgrounds have come here and told and shared their journey. We need you to come tell your own journey and your own story, and tell your friends to come as well and share, because the community is here to help you and to help you grow. So without any further ado, Nate Olson, come in and close us out.
What a fabulous morning. I mean, just looking at this, I mean, I have goosebumps, and not because it's cold. This is I'm also 23, and I am so passionate about young people who want to create change and invest in their communities. And 1 Million Cups was me investing in my community in Kansas City. So just a quick story on how this whole thing started. I graduated December of 2011, got out of school, didn't really have a job, and ended up landing at the Kauffman Foundation, which was a really big land. For those of you who don't know, the Kauffman Foundation is the world's largest private foundation dedicated to advancing entrepreneurship and education. I was hired into their entrepreneurship group and was assigned to Kansas City Entrepreneurship, and my job was to try and create as much value for the entrepreneurs in our community as possible. So I started hanging out with a lot of people just like you, trying to build a dream, and realized that the entrepreneurs in our community didn't have a place to go on a regular basis, to learn from each other, to share in that experience of starting up, because it's not easy. It's the hardest thing you could probably ever try to do, but also one of the most rewarding things. So we had a really fragmented community on the nonprofit side, in the education space, trying to support entrepreneurs, but also just between the entrepreneurs themselves. So long story short, I identified that need and found a blog post from an entrepreneur out of Chicago. And he said that more than networking events, more than awards dinners, more than business plan competitions, entrepreneurs being intentional about sharing their ideas and their passions with each other had changed the community and made it more dynamic. And he called that blog post A Million Cups. And so I created a hypothesis that if we could get Kansas City's entrepreneurs to drink 1 million cups of coffee together, sharing their business ideas, what they've learned, and helping each other start up, that we would fundamentally change our city. And this morning, they're starting up, I think, right now. We've grown our community to over 300 people a week that come out. But that's not our metric for success. Our metric for success is really the advancement of the entrepreneurs that come and the education that they go through and the evolution that they go through in their business. So just to let you know, this morning across the country, we've expanded 1 million cups to 26 cities. We're not even 2 years old yet. There's probably about 1,500 people and 47 entrepreneurs presenting this morning. By the end of the month, we'll be in 30 communities. By the end of April, we'll be in 40. We're going to keep going. We're going to take this global. And here's why I'm saying that, is because we're building a community here and investing in the community here, but now we have a community of startup communities across the country. And so if you presented here in Orlando, you can go present in any other city that we're in. And so if you want to get over to, hopefully, we'll be going to London, we'll go international, but you'll be able to take this idea and have a front door to that community. So this is my startup. So thank you for supporting me. And I know that I want to be sensitive of time and everything, but yeah, thank you for having me.
We're just going to hang out, but go ahead.
You said 26 cities?
Yeah.
How many in Florida?
2.
Just 2. What's the other city?
St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you. I presented here a couple months back, and this community has been more than embracing, more than amazing. I didn't even know so many awesome people even stayed here or live in this area. And what you're doing is something organic and it's pure, and I love it. You know, I preach for this thing faithfully. I'm trying to get more people out here. Please, everyone do the same. We need this to grow, and we need to keep empowering one another with groups like this, because this is something magical. You know, right now I'm kind of tingling just from thinking about it, just how many beautiful faces are just here. So thank you so much for what you're doing and what you're doing across the world. It really means a lot.
So in Kansas City, where this has been going on a little bit longer, if you had some of the entrepreneurs who presented come back and present again and give updates on where they're at, I'm just kind of wondering, like, once all the startups pitch, where do we go from there?
Yeah, actually one of our community organizers from a different city is calling that startup refill. And I think that that's awesome, because the local press really covers the launch of companies, if they raise money, and if they have a successful exit. It's really the 3 stages where they cover startup, and then don't tell the story in between. So I would love for us to do that, and as companies have had 6-12 months to work, come back, because there's so many people who are sitting in this room and who will be sitting in the room at that time, just getting ready to start something. It's like, wow, look what they've done in 6 months' time. Look how much change they've gone through. So I would love that.
So Josh, I'm going to piggyback with this for just a quick second and let you know that one of our alums who presented back in October is coming back in about a week to 2 weeks to tell what has happened in her journey. And it will be Alexandra. She's sitting right here at the front. So if you take a close look at my shirt, you'll have a little bit of an inkling as to what we're talking about. So Again, one more question.
What's the process if somebody wants to start a 1 million cups in their city? Is there a?
Yeah, so Ron said it, this entire community, we're over 100 volunteers now. It's run by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. This isn't a chamber event, this isn't, a corporate thing, this is the community building itself, it's run by the entrepreneurs. And so, what I've done is I've built a tool set, a website, and some tools that communities can license for free. We give it away, and what we ask in return is their time. And you guys need to thank our community organizers, Ron, they give a lot of time. So it used to take me 3 months to launch a city. So I had a whole bunch of cities in a different process, but we've gotten it down to 4 weeks when a community approaches us. We've been approached by over 70 cities saying that they want to build their startup community and use this program. And so we're rolling it out as fast as we can. We can do about 4 at a time right now, but basically we build the team, we coach them, we talk about our culture, our methodology, give them the tools and the resources they need, and then we're trying to build community between the community organizers and the entrepreneurs that are leading these communities. So we think that's a really valuable resource. So each city is different though. I wish it was apples to apples, but it's not. It's completely different, and that's been probably the best learning experience for me, is learning that one size doesn't fit all, and we have to adjust.
Thank you, Nathan. Just pick up your cups of coffee if you don't mind. Just there's a trash back there. If not, hang out, shake hands, share business cards. Next week at Studio 18 FL, and the week after that, we'll be back here.
Hey guys, next week at the studio, the parking situation, it might look a little confusing. It's right across the street, there's an open parking. That's where we park all the cars. So when you come to the location, park in the grass. You'll still see